Okay, so if you go under Module 1 data files, and this is on page 53 of your book, by the way, the step-by-step if you acquire the book at this point. So if I go to Module 1, Excel data files, case 3, you'll see the original data called global. Okay, so I want to bring that up. I want to open that up. So click on global, and that should open up into Microsoft Excel. And enable editing. Are you guys able to get there? Because I know Blackboard's slow. You guys are all there? It's loading. Okay, I'll wait a few seconds here. Okay, so the first thing it asks us to do, and what I'd like you to do is always save the file with your name in it, your last name, your first name, I don't care, just so that I know it's yours. So I'm gonna resave this file. I'm gonna save it as at this point, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna put it on my desktop here. I'm gonna call it Global Nico. Obviously, you wouldn't call it Nico unless you're my son or daughter. So click Save and save it somewhere with your name in it. As you can see, this workbook only has one sheet, sheet 1. It's asking us to rename that sheet to production space history. So let's go down to sheet 1, right click on that, go up to rename, and we'll type in production space history. And remember, this can be 31 characters. Any kind of spreadsheet name or worksheet name. I don't think you're allowed special characters like ampersand, things like that aren't allowed. But numbers, spaces, alphas are all good. Okay, next thing it asks us to do is insert 12 rows at the top of this worksheet. How would I do that? What's the quickest, most efficient way to do that? What would be the way to insert 12 rows on the top of this worksheet? I could hit insert 12 times, right click and say insert, 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 but we only have so many keystrokes in our lifetime. So what would be a better way to do that? Alex?
Cut and paste.
No. Kelsey?
Highlight 12 rows and then hit insert.
Okay, very good. So if I want to insert 12 rows, if I highlight the first 12 rows and then right click and say insert, it'll insert 12 rows for me. Okay, if I did 5, obviously it'd do 5 rows. If I did 7, it would do 7 rows. So, that can save me a lot of time. I've seen a lot of people go insert, 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 and they're trying to insert. So if you highlight 12, it'll give you 12 at this point. I know what Alex was saying, like copy and paste, but I didn't want to really copy and paste any kind of data. Okay, I just wanted 12 blank rows to start with. It asks us to increase the width of column A to 23 characters. So I think we talked about this earlier. We're going to go up between A and B, okay, until our mouse turns into the cross there. And if we left click and hold down, you see it shows us the width in both characters and pixels. So you guys know what a pixel is, correct? Yes? It's a little point, yes? You guys know what a pixel is? Okay, so I'm going to go and increase that to 23 point, if I can get there, 23 point, too much coffee this morning, .00. It also wants me to change the column width of B through 14, column B through column F to 14 characters. So I don't want to do each of those individually. The same thing, I want to highlight B through F and then do it all in one at one fell swoop. So I'm going to highlight B through F, and then I'm going to put my cursor between F and G. Okay, after I highlight columns B and through F, I'm going to put it, and now this is applying to all of those columns, not just F. Colin, you having some issues?
I didn't charge one.
Oh, okay.
What did we have to go for width level on that?
23 for column A, characters, and then B through F is 14. Okay? Robbie, you have a question?
My internet's still not working.
Okay. You can't get the file?
It's getting there, but it's still loading.
All right. Anyone else not able to get the file? Just Robbie?
Your computer's staying in a bad spot.
Yeah. Okay, in the range B7 through F7, it wants us to write plant 1, plant 2, plant 3, plant 4, and plant 5 respectively. Instead of doing that, we already have that in B13 through F13. So I'm going to copy and paste that up there so we have the same titling, plant 1 through 5, plant 1 through 5, and B7 through F7 that we have in B13 through F13. Okay, now it's asking us to do some labeling. Starting in A8, we're going to enter total units produced. A9, average per month, and then maximum and minimum. Okay, so to get total units produced, we're going to use auto sum. And we're going to use for the same thing with average and max and min. We're going to use those as well. So what we'd like to do is highlight B26 through F26, and under the Home tab, over in Editing Group, click on Auto Sum. Okay, now what that has done, as you guys know, is it automatically inserted a formula equals sum B14 through B25, and then C14 through C25 respectively. I really don't want to copy, I just want to move that now. Okay, so if I put my cursor over like the top middle of the bar, it turns into looks like a cross there. That will allow me to move it. I'm just going to left click on that and drag it. And you can see it kind of has an outline where I'm going to drag it to. And I'm going to drag it up to B8 through F8. So it took those formulas and copied them in for me. All right, now I want to do the same thing. I want the average. So average, as you guys know, there's equal average is the formula. But auto sum, I know most are probably familiar that auto sum does auto sum totaling. But if we highlight B26 through F26 again, if we go under Home, under the Editing Group, you'll see as well, under auto sum, there are also other auto features. For example, auto average. So if we go down to average, okay, it has averaged each of those columns for me. It has inserted B14 through average B14 through B25, C14 through C25 respectively. And I'm going to move that up as well to the average per month. Auto sum also does maximum and minimum. So we're gonna follow those two steps as well to get the maximum and minimum. So I'm gonna go through that kind of quickly. I'm gonna auto sum, get the max, insert those formulas for me, drag it up to maximum, auto sum, minimum, and drag that up. Yes, Colin.
For the average, do you care how many decimal places?
You know what, just leave it like that for now. Okay, the next module we're going to, do some of those kind of things. But just leave it at that for now. I know it looks ugly, it's hard to look at, but. Are we all there? Yes? Okay. What we're going to do in a production history worksheet, which is one we're in, we need to enter some other data. So in cell A1, we're going to kind of label this thing global, site, GPS, production report. A3's model. They want map tracker 201 in here, because that's what we're selling. Okay, so I'll let everyone get to there. Jennifer.
Map tracker's supposed to be one word or
I think it's one word, it's like a model, map tracker 201. I'm not gonna, and by the way, like, those kind of things, I don't care about them, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna take off a point because something like that, so. We good? Okay. What I'd like us to do is in cell B5, I'd like us to sum up the total units produced. So we want to sum, basically it looks like B8 through F8. So as you know, we're going to say equal, we'll use our sum function, B8 through F8. Hit enter, and you should get, it's like 9,678. I'm not going to do the whole next step because there's a lot of data entry and that really doesn't serve our class purpose well, but I'm going to do a portion of it. It wants us to insert a new worksheet. So we have the production history worksheet. It wants us to create a new worksheet. So we're going to click on down here at the bottom. You see it has a little plus and an insert worksheet. I'm going to click on that. Okay, and it wants us to call that plant directory. So I'm going to right click on it, rename it plant directory, and hit enter. And it wants us to make that the first worksheet in the workbook. So if I left click on it, you see the little arrow saying where I want it to be placed. I'm going to drop it at the very beginning. Okay, left click on the worksheet and you can slide it wherever you like. So we're gonna write in L1 global site, in A1, I'm sorry, GPS, in A2 plant directory. Don't worry about changing the column width at this point. We know how to do that, we don't need to do it again. Or if you want, let's auto fit. How would I auto fit that column width? Zach?
Double click on the
Yeah,
line.
between A and B, double click and it'll automatically fit it. Okay, so it's asking us to enter some data in here. So I'm just gonna, let's just put in one row of the data. I'm not gonna make you guys add all this. But let's go put in plant manager, address, and phone. It wants column B to be 15 characters, so we can make that 15 characters. The other way I could do that, because you can see I don't have the steadiest hands. If I want to right click on a column and then go down to column width, you can set it there with your numeric. Okay. It wants C to be 30 characters, so I'm going to right click on that, go to column width, and set that to 30. And then phone, it wants that to be 16. So let's just enter one data, one row. There's 5 rows in the book, but we're only going to enter one. Karen Brookers is our first plant manager. And we have an address, but we want it on 2 lines, okay? And I'm not within 2 lines. I basically want a line break inside the cell, okay? I don't want to monkey with the cell. I want a line break within the cell. So I'm going to enter the street address, which is 300 Connecticut Ave. And if I hit enter, it goes down to the next worksheet, okay? What I really want to do is basically hit enter within the cell. How do I do that so it goes to the next line within the cell? Do you guys know that combination? Anyone?
Do your up text?
What's that?
Do your up the text?
No, we want to do Alt, hold down the Alt key, and hit Enter. Okay, Alt, Enter. And that'll take you to the next line within the same cell. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can have multiple lines. If I hit Enter, it's going to go to the next cell. So Alt, Enter, and then I'll put in Crestwood, Missouri. I think MO is Missouri, is that right? 6-3. Or is it Montana? I think it's Missouri, yes.
My dad doing that.
Are you holding down the Alt key, hitting enter? At the end of the line.
Oh.
You get- If you go into,
Yeah, I don't actually click the box.
so yes, you have to, so go into that, okay? So it has to be in edit mode. So F2 will put it in edit mode, or you can double click. See how below now I'm in edit mode, down here in the status bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Now,
I did it.
I'm at the end
Before,
of-
for some reason, it just kept shortening my row
okay.
or my column.
You probably weren't in edit mode, okay?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It wants to auto fit the height of each row to its content. We only have this one row, so we can do that as well, but it looks like it's already auto fit, so we're fine. Let's go, it's putting in a documentation worksheet as well, but that's just busy work, so I'm gonna skip that. The last thing it wants us to do, you guys good? Anytime I go too fast, because I tend to do that, just make sure you speak out, okay? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Let's go back to the production history worksheet. And we're going to go to page layout view. And this is where a lot of, under this ribbon, that's where a lot of things are related to the layout of the page, like inserting headers and titles and scaling. And one thing we want to do is we want to change this to orientation. We want to change this to landscape. So if I go under page layout, under orientation, I want to go to landscape. Okay, and we can see our page breaks. It looks like it is going to fit within one page at this point. We'll talk in the next section about how we do scaling and how we insert our own page breaks and repeat rows at the title. But for this purpose, looks like we're good. So I'm going to save this again. I think I saved it at my desktop. Yeah, desktop and global Miko, I think I called it. Yes, replace it, or just click save. And then what I'd like you guys to do, and if I know Robbie had some issues, and Robbie, I'll give you extended time to do it. It's in the book as well. But what I'd like you guys to do right now is go to, just so that we make sure you guys can upload cases, is go to Blackboard. Okay, and you should be able to see under tutorial module 1. A couple ways you can get there actually. If I go under modules tutorial module 1, in class case, because we did it in class right now, module 1 case 3, if I click on that, it should take you to the assignment Dropbox. I know you guys have probably used that before. And down under attach file, that's where I want you to click on browse my computer. I don't know how to do this yet. Navigate to wherever you save this item. Mine is Global Miko. And then submit it, okay? And then I'll grade that after class. I'm sure you all got 100% on that one, okay? But that'll give us a feel for that. Go ahead, Dan.
For the honor class
Yeah.
study, where are the directions be for what we're supposed to do?
Okay, so that's a good question. I was going to go over that next. If we look back into modules tutorials, tutorial module 1, okay, we have 2 out of class cases for module 1. And I believe I have them both due, is it Friday at midnight? Can you guys see that? I can look. January 20th at midnight. January 20th is Monday, right? Okay. So the first ones is complete case prob 1 found on pages exercise 50 through 51 of your course text. So it is all in here. Okay, it's in your book. This is at the end of every module tutorial. There are these cases. There's usually 4 or 5. We usually pick 2 or 3 and do them. One of them in class, 1 or 2 are outside of class. But it shows you, step by step what it would like to have done. Okay, so it walks you through. Like for the first one, there's going to be some summing involved, entering some formulas, but nothing very difficult. Okay, so those 2 cases, you can do them anytime outside of class. Do them tonight if you like, or Sunday morning. I don't care. But I think I have you assign case 1 and case 2 from this module. All right.
And the quizzes, are the quizzes like from the text?
Okay, the quizzes, that's a good question. I'm changing things up a little bit with the quizzes. The quizzes are open book, okay? There's going to be an in-class quiz, which I think I have scheduled for Monday, where I'll ask you to do it in class. So I'm making sure you're doing it yourself, and an out-of-class quiz. They're going to be timed quizzes, and they're taking questions from the text test bank, if you will. Okay, it's all multiple choice, and usually for a tutorial module there are 20 to 30, or maybe more, 20, 30, maybe 50 questions, and I pick a subset of those. Okay, it randomly selects a subset of those. For the out-of-class quizzes, I have it set now you can do them twice. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do a trial run see how you do, see what the kind of questions are, get a grade, and then do it again. You have to do it before the deadline. You have to do the 2 trials before the deadline. You're not gonna get the same exact questions, right? Because it's picking from a pool of questions, you know? You're randomly, but it can give you a feel for what, and the same thing with the in-class quiz, it's gonna come from the same pool of questions, okay? But yeah, it's based on the book, whatever we're talking about, that module. This one, really, you know, as you can see, a lot of this stuff, you know, wasn't earth-shattering stuff, okay? There wasn't a whole lot in there. We talked about, you know, entering formulas, copying and pasting some things, you know, setting column widths, you know, it wasn't really, no renaming worksheets, you know, nothing too high
So
level.
like, so if we take the quiz twice, we'll take the better of the 2 grades?
You know what? I didn't find that option. That's what I wanted to do. I gotta find that option. I just decided that yesterday, so I gotta find that option. That's what I think there's a place in course settings where I can say, on multiple attempts, take the higher of the 2. That's what I wanted to do. So, okay. Questions? Those were good questions. Thank you for asking them, Dan.